person sees all.
Hi everyone, thanks so much for stopping by. Funnel cloud, that's what I'm going to call it because it's definitely a funnel. This spanned from at least 30, 40 kilometers, and I could see at the end of my eye. So we're talking 50, 60 kilometers, this funnel cloud that I actually was able to visit the 40 kilometers of it, but this is the only shot I got. And let's talk about UFOs on Mars. No, maybe between Earth and Mars, right? At the size of that thing, I certainly hope it's not beside Mars. Pretty sure it's closer to us. Close-up view of Mars, but I want to talk about the shapes of the UFOs that I'm finding. Some of these UFOs are even leaving off projectiles. I found one beside Jupiter and the Galilean moons, filmed it live going by, but I also caught another spectacular capture in live footage, but I'll show you a snapshot of it right after this as we look with the night vision filter, because this was not the night vision camera, of course. This is just a green filter. Why? Because it's comfortable to our eyes to see greens and blues, and when we show it in those ways we can see more of the shapes of the objects. Jupiter and the Galilean moons, here we are, and look at the UFOs. There's one right here, one right there. They were going by, whether it be the same one and it's a piece of meteor coming off of it, I don't know, but you can see another one coming out of the UFO. And let's just see it a bit closer, as close as we can anyways, to the pixelation point. It's pretty cool to see. Really gonna hurry up and get through this because the wind's crazy. We lost electricity this morning, and I'm hoping that we're not going to run out of electricity. It's just a matter of waiting for it to come back, of course. But I don't know why Florida is so far from Quebec, but when Florida is even has an approaching hurricane, we feel the wind. So speaking of UFOs and their forms and shapes and lights, this is on the surface of the moon. So some of those UFOs that I saw even beside Mars could be just some of these guys leaving the moon, crossing paths between Earth and Mars, and we're seeing it. There's another UFO. By taking down the exposure, they're leaving the surface. Whether they're leaving from inside or whether they are just parked there, that's besides the point, but they are on the surface. We have that much confirmation anyways. Here is nice and close now, Tycho. I'm not going to leave it go. I love it, and I want to keep getting in it. And watch this. Notice all the colors that appear, and it's natural. You don't have to saturate it. Au contraire, you have to take the saturation down because it's crazy saturated and colorful. It's just amazing to see the lines and the surface color. The moon is really colorful. How could Buzz Aldrin have told Neil Armstrong on audio, quoted, saying, "See, Neil, I told you there were purple rocks"? How could they have known that there was any color at all on the moon unless they would have been told there was color? And I think that was so that people would maybe think later on, like today, that, hey, he knew there was color there, so he definitely went. When in reality, the telescope and a close-up of a telescope easily show us all the color. I jumped way too fast over this yesterday, right, Robert? A good friend in the community mentioned to go back, not this area, we'll go back to what he meant later on, but for now, look at the crater that you just saw. Tell me there was not any construction there. Now, yesterday, I hope you all understood. I'm going to show you some new stuff and explain it differently. I believe the surface is made up to stump us, like a sort of camouflage, so that the structures are there. They can't entirely be hidden, but they can be hidden a lot. But when you start zooming in as close as I am right now, look over here on the right. My friends, those are all structures on the surface that you're seeing there right now. Some have white reflectivity, and here's the same area right now. See, what I'm pointing to on the right is what the arrow is pointing to in the center, is that actual shape. It's a platform-like object. We're looking at it on the surface, and look in the circle, in the big black circle, what's beside it. You can't even see that on the ground because of the parallax, right? It's laying down on the ground. Let me explain in greater detail. The red dot is on what I believe is the structure, platform or object, whatever it may be, it's built. That's the feet. Those are the feet that are holding it up, and these are other smaller or bigger platforms, all connected with more 90-degree angles that could have smaller structures on top. And we get smaller and smaller, and still there are more of those objects that are basically not being seen. Open your eyes, my friends. The structures are there, just like a wired mesh all around the moon. Same reflectivity as the surface. Those connections are almost near impossible to see, but they're not impossible to see. Because of the dusts, hazes, clouds, natural or not, on the surface, it's creating a film-like look to the surface. Everything looks like it's clinging together, and everything looks like it's gray. Where have I shown the platform like material or objects before? Right here, Bianchini crater. This is east of Bianchini crater, 40 kilometers, really not far. Bianchini's up in the white top left there. And atop of these, we'll call them platform objects, symmetrical objects, either way, on top of that are smaller structures. And here's a view further out. You can see the patches of blurs, even here. At the end of sinus iridum. See the patchiness of the blurs? Those are beautiful. And they are smaller structures. Where the end of the promontorium be, right at the end of sinus iridum. The surface that you see is not manipulated. very real here. No filtering, very close up, and at the back it looks like water slide parks, right? Everything on top of them made with a blinding camouflage to hide us from the surface. Square crater, and what's along them? Well, other platform-like objects that are connected to different levels, both high and low levels. It is never ending. There's more and more secrets on the surface, more and more revealing stuff that we're seeing each and every day. So, thanks for being here, and I'm off to make another one. Thank you to all patrons, and of course, every contributor, and for everyone being here. I love you guys. More on the way. For whatever the reason you'd like to send me something, here is my mailing address.
This is Houston. Say again, please.